Oh man, oh man, oh man. I don't know why you so focused on what I'm doing, old man. Like you need to stay in your lane. Worry about yourself, okay? Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. Don't worry about me. All right? Don't worry about me. Okay?
Well,
Okay.
well, I just noticed something. I'm just noticing you growing a little something, something there. But
You know,
it's all
we
right.
mm-mm, mm-mm. No, 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 no. No, worry about yourself. Don't worry about what I got going on over here. This is my thing. Okay?
Got it. Got it.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
we're gonna get into something that you may not have experienced because I don't know if they existed back in your day.
They
Um,
did.
you know,
They started. That's
it
where it
may have just
started.
been that little school out, you know, in the middle of nowhere, the wooden house with the teacher just sitting there, and you got like 16 of y'all just, hey, I got a question. I got a
So,
question.
you pull it up, you get all your stuff out,
Yep,
and set it.
yeah, the old
Yeah,
wooden
right.
desk, the old school wooden
That's
desk.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, the old college experience, you know, that people may or may not have experienced.
That's
Because, like I said, audience, you know, he's from the 1800s, so I don't know if that was around in his day. But
well,
for me,
well, yes,
it
yes.
was
How was it? How was the college experience?
oh, college experience was fine. I mean, it's everything that you were informed of before you go to college, if not more. So I mean, it just depends on the person on how they tackle that experience. And I guess starting off just right off the bat, is it for everyone? And I would say no.
No,
It's
no,
not
it's
for
not.
everyone.
No, I have to agree with that. Likely as you take it, Tack. I did go to school, but I didn't go right out of high school, so it was a little different for me probably than it was for you.
No, I wasn't saying you didn't go. I just said they didn't exist
No,
because
no,
you know
no, no. I'm
you
just saying the time,
yeah,
the
yeah,
age.
the
So
1850s. We
yeah,
understand. We got it.
I'm talking about 18 years old compared to mid 20s, something like that. So it's a different maturity there
Mm,
compared to right out of high school going. So, but it's not for everyone, and I agree with that. And it's not for everyone because for whatever reason, some people just don't like school, the structure of education.
mm,
Doesn't mean that there's something wrong with that. It's just they don't like that structure,
right.
and they rather use their hands, or um, it just don't like a lot of people like to be around people.
Excuse me.
So, so I mean, whatever the reason, it's not for everybody. I mean, what other things you think that? I mean, I'm thinking a lot of people. Some people just like to work with their hands.
Yeah, but there once again there's other avenues to make money, so it's not the end
Right.
all be all that was thrusted
Absolutely.
upon us. It's like, hey, you need to go to school if you're gonna have a good job and you know make a decent living and this, that, and the third. So with the introduction of technology and more outlets for revenue generation, there's there's not necessarily a need to go to college unless you're trying to you know, dive into one of those fields like Fortune 500 company or something of that nature. And a lot of people may have disabilities that prevent them from learning, or they learn a certain way that isn't necessarily suitable for college. It's just a whole bunch of different factors that go into that. But I would say the main thing is that there's more outlets to make a name for yourself, or to, do whatever you want to do, pursue your dreams per se.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, with technology, and now you can do stuff online. Even with the person who don't like the crowd, you can do it from home. Online learning and getting a college degree. So, but the thing is, when I was going to school and during my time, it wasn't online. You know, and I don't even know if it's like that now. How do people look at online degrees? Do they carry? I think they carry the same amount of weight as if you went to the college itself. But before, until it got to this point, it wasn't looked upon in that way. But that's a whole nother topic. But yeah, yeah, it's other avenues of making money to have a college degree to do so.
Right.
So yeah, that's a very, very good point.
So how did you? I'll let you start off here. How did you determine it was for you?
I Well, first, I wanted to. I was thinking I was going to go to school right out of high school, go to
Mm-hmm.
college right out of high school, and you know, life happens. Things happen, and you make decisions, and so I knew that that was instilled in me. Kind of like most people who grew up in a home where it was just a high school diploma and no college degree. So I knew I needed to. I was drilled to go to the next level,
Mm-hmm.
and so I always knew that that's something I would have to have if I want to be, successful in the world. Um, so that that's when I knew that college was not really an option. I had to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I had to do,
Right.
not something I wanted to do. Like say, well, not like I didn't want to. I wanted to,
Right.
but it wasn't something that I could just let go and say, okay, I'm all right here where I'm
Right.
at without at least going. How about
Uh,
yourself, Jack?
how did I? I mean, I was just more so ready to get out the house. To be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it a buck,
Mhm, mhm.
because
Right,
growing up in a military family, going back to what I was saying
mhm,
before, you just used to doing
right,
certain things, and I'm just like, I'm ready to just go and do what I want to do, so I don't have to really listen to anybody. I'm
right,
accountable for
right,
myself. But um there's a rhyme and a reason looking back on it for everything that they do, and I know I'm gonna get some feedback for saying that they were right, but um that's neither here nor there. I will admit that I was wrong in this case, but
right,
um
right,
as far as that was the major thing as far as for me determining that college was for me. It just wanted to just be able to do my own thing and not being specifically told what the what's the word I'm thinking of, the I can't go outside the boundaries essentially.
right,
um
right, right.
and I
Structure. You
exactly
can take structure.
exactly and I think that may apply to some people. I mean, I always feel like that would apply more for the people that grow up in military families, that structure. They're just like, okay, I'm tired of this, I'm out. They may end up going to the military or something, but there's even more structure. But some of them just go to college and like, yeah, I'm out of here. And then some the determination, I would say, just depends on them. Look at what you want to do. If you have an idea, you may not
Yeah.
know, especially being 17, 18 years old, fresh out of high school, you're not going to necessarily know what you're going to want to do for the next 40 some odd years from.
Well, it's funny you mention that because, but you go in there with some idea. You have some interest when
Mhm.
you start, but just like anything, as you get involved and you learn more, and you get the environment, you get to see other things, then you it's subject to change. You're like, oh, I thought I like this, but this is even better over here. This curriculum is better, and I might want to pursue that. So, um, I- but you should go there with a purpose,
Right.
not just to get away, but with
I mean, there's a purpose behind it, but
right, right, right,
once
right,
you went getting away was the main part. Then getting there, it's like now focus on my purpose. What do I want to do?
right,
Everything like
right,
that.
right.
So everybody is a little bit different as far as how they approach that portion. But if it came down to, like, if I had a choice, I would 100% do it again, and I wouldn't even think about going locally. Local wouldn't even be an option for me. I would have to get away, like a
You go
drive.
out of state.
I mean, not even out of just. I guess it depends on what local is. I mean, I would want it to be at
Right,
least a
right, right.
drive. Like
That's right.
when I went, it was what, 3.5 hours, 3.5 hours to go to the school that I went to. And I would endorse the same thing to anybody that was planning on going. Just don't go to local. Don't go down the street from your house. No, I would advise you to go out of state. Go somewhere where it's a little drive so you can experience a whole bunch of different people. So not everybody sits there and knows you, especially if you're trying to make a name for yourself doing something else.
Well, I agree. I totally agree with that. But if you want to go to school, and if that's your goal, I I'm with you. Get away. Make it some distance. Make it you know make it that it has to be an effort to get to you or you to get home.
Right.
Um, I agree with that. But if you financially can't do that or you don't have the means to do that, definitely local. Don't not do it because you can't go.
Right.
If that's what you want, local is local. It's there, so it's convenient. You can get what you need, and then once you get to a place where you are financially stable or you can make that move, branch out a little further out. Make sure that you deal with a school that the credits can carry over. And you didn't waste your time at this school, at the local school, and the credits won't carry over.
Right. And I guess that would be seen as a good thing for staying home. Granted,
That's
of course,
right.
you're also saving money because you're in your parents, your rents, your rents
Yeah.
home, and I'm sure they're probably like they were waiting for you.
Are you going to school at home? Leaving. You still living at home
Right.
and going to class and then coming back home. I, Me personally, I encourage go
Right.
get out there. Swim. Sink or swim. Whatever you're going to do. Go ahead and do it. After 18 years, if I didn't supply you the tools to make good decisions, or even, I'm not saying you're gonna be perfect, or I'm just saying make good decisions on your own, or you won't hear my voice, when something comes up and you say, oh, should I do this? And then you hear my voice. If I have to question it, then it might not be something I need to do. I gotta trust that. I gotta trust that I gave you the tools to make good decisions. And really, when you're out there, it's all about decisions that
Right.
you're going to make. You know that they probably won't know about. If you make a bad one, they probably will know. But
I mean that
You know,
we'll circle into that a little bit
but
later because I got a
that's
lot to
right.
say on that. I got a lot to say on
Yeah,
that, but
yeah.
I guess one of the caveats to staying home, like we were hitting on earlier, is that you do tend to save a lot more money doing going somewhere local compared to going away for school. Now, of course, this all depends on scholarships and grants and everything else like
Okay.
that, of course. Uh, but I think that's the major um, pro for staying home or being close. I mean, even if you're at I think isn't it isn't it a little bit different? Isn't university like, for instance, if you stayed down the street from a prominent university, I don't think that's going to change. I mean, it may be different if you go to like a smaller like community college or something like that, but I don't think that's going to
That's right.
really change anything as far as the pro of being low. If I'm making sense, being local in the sense that hey, there's a university right down the street. I don't have to worry about room and board and everything like that um, at the major university. Um, so I guess all in all, you're still saving money at the end of the day. And then another pro, I guess, if you want to still hang out with your friends or whoever else you may know in school, like if you're tight with your crew, or
Are you in love? And she's still home. You don't want to leave her, or him. That
that too, uh,
that's it.
or if you're what's the word I'm thinking of? What's where you don't want to leave homesick? Not homesick. Is it
If you're away and then you craving to be home, you're homesick.
right? There was one where it's
Yeah.
just like you want to be I forgot what the term is, but it's one where you don't want to leave like your confined area. Um and I can't think of the name. I had it on the tip of my tongue. It just left me.
Okay.
Um
It'll come back. It'll come back.
yeah, and I'm sure it'll be like at the end of the pipe. Yeah, it was this. I'm like, okay. Of course, rolling into the cons, I mean, we talked about the pros. Of course, now we got to talk about the cons. You're still with your parents, who still are going to set the rules because you're not, as they say, you're not paying the bills around here. So once you pay the bills around here, then you can make rules. I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother has heard
Absolutely.
that growing up. You don't pay the bills around
Absolutely.
here. So I'm just like, okay.
I mean,
So
should I mean it makes sense to me. I mean, what rules does somebody who lived with somebody make when they take care of all the bills? I
right.
mean,
No,
they
I
have
mean
no
they're not wrong, not at all. But it's just like if
right.
you have curfew, like you're 18, 19 years old with a curfew still, and you're like, I'm trying to that's one of the things you need to get out, so you don't have to worry about a curfew. You can go out and hang out with your friends all times of the night, but you still got to be responsible. But that's neither here nor there. That's something later.
And,
Uh,
yeah, yeah, and that's one of the things I'm saying. It's better to go, but you got, and a lot of times parents don't want the kids, and sometimes they want the kids to go.
mm.
So I mean, the pro is for the parents is they're out of the house. It's a good thing.
I
It's
think the
my time.
parent I think the parents are like we get to relive our lives before we had kids. That's basically what it is.
Right.
We get
That's
to do
right.
everything before we had y'all.
That's right.
So,
Hey, they gone. You see those movies and commercials. When the kids go, the room changes. It's something else. You might have a cot. Or you sleep on the couch when you come home. But no, no, it's some pros for their parents as well. So it's not just the kid, and when they go off to school. I don't need to cut you off. Go
no,
ahead
no,
with the
no. What
cons.
else? What else?
With the cons.
As a parent on this podcast, what are the other? What are some of the other pros for?
Well, the pros as a parent, I see is you're invested in this young person,
Mhm.
and now you want to see what you're gonna what's going to come of that person, and cutting that string, that's the pros of going off to school. Um, it's saying, okay, did I give them the tools? Now, not saying that you're going to cover everything as a parent when they go off to school, but hopefully you gave them the moral compass to navigate for the rest of their life, practically. But they're going to build on it, but just enough to make it through 4 to 5 years, depending on how long they stay in the collegiate sector, to accomplish their goals or not do anything or to get themselves in trouble.
Mm.
Um, it's so that's one thing, one pro about it, and a lot of parents, and you see people pay for it to get an Ivy League school. It's bragging rights.
Mm.
Oh, my kid's in college. My kid's in school. Yeah, I mean, you hear parents, glow. They see a glow in their eyes when they talk about their kids being in school. So that's another thing that is a pro for the parent side of things. Um, the pockets are, usually the kids hurt the pockets still, but it's worth it to have them out of the house,
Mm.
and not in a negative way, but in a adult way. They're out of the house. They're on their own. They're making decisions. I hope the right decisions, and and it's almost an accomplishment to the parent.
Mm. Now, going to my sector, the pros of going away to school. You can make a name for yourself because if you live in a small town, everybody knows each other. Like, oh, especially if something happened to you where you're just like the butt of everybody's jokes, you go away, nobody knows who you are. That's a pro.
Start. You
Another
start.
pro, you get to meet potentially lifelong friends in college that you still may communicate with. It may not happen until after you leave college. Who knows? You may have met them before you went to college. But typically, when you go to college, you meet a plethora of friends because everybody is interacting with each other on campus, usually taking classes, or you're like, hey, you taking this class? Let's take this class together so I have somebody to talk to or whatnot. Or um, the the camaraderie, especially if you're playing sports. Like if you're playing sports on campus, then there's a whole nother layer for that because all the athletes tend to hang out with each other and have get-togethers and everything of that nature. Another pro is you don't have to listen to your it's a pro and a con at the same time. It's a pro because you don't have to listen to, but it's a con because everything falls on you. Uh,
That's right. That's
uh,
right.
let's see, and I think I got one more. You can pretty much schedule that's the time for you to really like spring break, go on trips, things like that.
Okay.
Spring break is usually when you go on trips. So 4 trips, 1 trip per year, or unless you go in the summer, you
Mhm.
usually have those trips that you can go to those places, especially if you know how to work the system to where
Mhm.
you have extra income that
Right.
that you can use outside of your expended expenses on books.
Parents.
Well, yeah,
Right? Your parents, right? Oh,
well, not just necessarily the parents, but like if you're on a scholarship, they usually give you
that's right.
stipends, different things like that
Mhm.
per month, so you can roll that over and be like, hey, I saved
Right.
up half. Mom, dad, can you help
Right.
me out with the other half or
See,
whatever?
see, see. That's right.
Not
Never gone.
that
Never
that's you.
truly gone. Never.
That's usually how it goes, or
Right.
it depends on
Right.
how much you're getting per your stipend. Some people actually save up enough to do and go on that big trip that they wanted to do or whatnot. But I mean, some of the cons, of course, with every pro, there's always a con. You could be homesick. Why I don't know, but
Enough
uh,
activities, I guess, to keep you busy.
yes, there's a
Yeah.
lot to do.
right.
at school to keep you busy. Only time you really should be going home is during the summer, and even then it's very minimal. It's like maybe what, 2 3 weeks. I mean, if you're an athlete, I think
Right.
it's only like a week, and then you're back
Wait.
to a
Mhm.
week two at the top, two at the most, and then you're back to doing training camps and everything, getting ready. So
Right.
uh so being homesick
Okay.
could be expensive.
Mhm.
Let's see what else. It might not be for you. That's when you learn that it might not be for you, is when you, I mean, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, is when you go away and you find out that it's not for you. Just you would just need to make sure that you have all your stuff together, so you're not incurring all that debt that you may have acquired during that however long you were there, those first that first or X amount of semesters.
Right. Right. That's right. Because it's if you taking student loans and all that stuff, and you decide that this is not for you, but that's a con. I'm gonna let you finish your con because I got a lot of cons
No,
on
I
the
mean those were
negative
the
side.
those were the big three for me as a as
Okay.
a as a child looking into the,
Okay.
because I don't have kids, so I can't speak from a parent's perspective. So I'm just saying from my perspective as someone who grew up and went to school. It's like, what were some of the
Right.
things that I seen around me that people were like, man, I wish. Oh, home cooking. There you go. That's the major one
Okay.
right there.
Well,
Everybody's always talking about, oh, I miss the home cooking,
yeah.
because you're growing
You
up on.
visit, but you ain't going back home from home cooking.
No, no, no.
You're
You
not
you
going to say, "Oh, I'm gonna
you
get
you
out of
will
college and go
you
home cook."
will you will grow up on ramen
That's
and
right.
noodles and hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
You will grow up to love it.
A con is, and is a major con is the college system today.
Mhm.
Um, you got kids, well, young adults going out and they're going to school, and cost is not really something that they factor in when they're not paying for
Right.
it. A con is you get um, the young adults, and the parent has to tell them, this is what you are able to afford. That's as far as I'm going to go with the cost,
Mhm.
you know, and then you got, get attitude. The person, the young adult is upset because I can't go to the school. You can go to any school you want to if you could pay for it, but until then, this is what is available. So you got to come because you get it calls separation, anxiety, not anxiety, but a rift between you and the child,
Mhm.
because they're in a place where they really don't want to be. They wanted to be with their friends at this school, but their friends are in a better financial situation
Mhm.
than you are. So you have those. That's a con because now, because you didn't go to the school you wanted to go to, now you're mad at me. And another con is now you get student loans and everything. Now I got to sign as well.
Right.
So now you're on the hook and I'm on the hook. That's not cutting you off. That's not cutting that string.
Right.
Cutting that string means you on the hook and I'm off the hook because you created that loan. You're out there enjoying the college
Right.
experience,
And
but not on my dime.
but I understand that, but at the same time, most of those loans don't let you sign unless your parents are with you. Unless that has changed now. I mean, I know from my standpoint, I had to have my parents sign the loan with me because
That's
that
right.
there was nothing, there was no credit generated. I don't have any, there was no credit for it. I'm like, what am I going to have
But
credit as a 16, 17-year old kid getting ready to graduate high
okay,
school? That stuff wasn't
think
taught to
about
me.
right, but think about that. But that's a con. Now
Right,
that's a con for the parent because now whatever financial situation I'm in, good or bad, I just added to it
right,
debt because you're not really on the hook for it until you make the decision to pay it.
right,
You can say I'm not going to pay it, but I'm on the hook.
right.
So the thing is, to cut those strings and to be out there on your own is truly not there yet.
Right, but
You know,
you can't even cut the string because the system doesn't allow you to. That's the
that's
problem.
right. That's right.
So you
That's
don't have
right.
to
That's the con. That's
don't
the
take it up
con. That's a.
with look, don't
I'm not saying.
don't take it up with the kid because you can't cut
That's
them
right.
off and say sink or swim. Take it up with the government, as they say. Take it up with the
Right.
government. It's like, hey, we don't teach our young people what how to have credit and stuff at a young age, so they can get these loans and everything like that. They don't understand debt, so we put the parents on the hook for the kids wanting to go to an expensive school.
And that's why it's bad when the kids don't understand when the parents say no,
Mhm.
this is not, and that's why local is very
Inexpensive.
um yes, it's very very attractive. Put it like that. It's
Inexpensive. Go ahead.
very attractive. That's right.
Inexpensive.
That's right. So and that's another con, that I'm on the hook just like the college student.
Mm.
Um so when that decision is made to say, oh, school is not for me. Really?
Mm.
Really? No. It's thousands of dollars in debt
Yep.
that's owed. That decision has a price tag on it. And who's going to pay it?
Well, I mean, if we talk about my parents, then I mean, some parents be like, ah, that's okay, I'll take care of it. My parents be like, hey, you better go out there and get you a job.
That's exactly what I would say too. It's so that's a major con.
Mm-hmm.
You can make those decisions, but look, you got somebody else on the hook too. So, and when you make that decision, just know that you better have a revenue stream to take care of that debt because I don't know how long, like what, a year or 6 months after you
I
stop, you got to
believe
start paying it back,
I believe they give you. It may have
which is
changed.
really not enough.
It may have. Yeah, it's really not enough when you leave. I believe they give you a year, and it can go up to I think 6. I want to say 16 months.
16 months, that's
Yeah,
still not enough
yeah.
time
It's
for,
really not.
even if you graduate in the field you wanted to get to the point where you can pay a significant amount of money on that loan. So the more it costs, the more you owe. And so, but that's a con. That's a con. Yeah, and that's a con for any student, any graduate student, any parent that's tied to that. That's a con unless you get But that's what I like investing in your kids while they're in school,
Mm.
in high school, in grade school. That way they can get scholarships and they got the tools. And if they don't keep it going, then because you got to keep a certain grade GPA
Right.
to stay on scholarship. So
Yeah, they think it's a 2.5, two point
2.5.
five.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not.
bad. Yeah, that's not
I want to say it was two. I'm trying to actually 2.0. 2.0 was what you
2.0.
needed. 2.0 was what you needed to
Okay.
be eligible,
Mhm.
athletically. I think
Right.
2.5 was what it was for, from what I remember my friend telling me. I think it was two
Right.
five for the scholarship.
Scholarship. Okay. Okay. So with that, you're going to encourage your kid to stay at that level
Right.
while they're in college. definitely higher than that you would want, but at least that's the minimum
Right.
you want from them. So, and other than that, I don't see any. I might think of some other cons down the line, but those are the major ones that I see when it comes to.
I really, and what I was saying earlier about your con, I think that just falls back to the system of not those things not being taught in school. And I believe there's discussion about this way not on our podcast, but I'm just saying in general
Right.
from when I was reading news articles. It's like none of this stuff is taught
No, no, it's
to
not.
young adults, getting ready to leave college
Very
or
important.
leave school, leave high school. Like you don't learn about credit, you don't learn about investing. I think the only thing that I learned about was how to balance a checkbook. They'll tell me. Now tell me, Jay, who?
It's some adults that don't even know how to do that.
But tell me, Jay,
Mhm.
it's 2022. When am I gonna need to know how to balance a checkbook? When
I
when
still
every
use checks.
when every when everything I can look at my phone and be like, okay, I had this transaction, this, and then here's my bottom line right here. Okay, I know what I spent. I can set a limit on how much I can spend and all this other. Why do I need to balance a checkbook now? Yes, I know how to do it. Am
Right.
I going to use it? No.
Well, at least you know what's going on. Um, for me, I still use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I, write everything out, like I said, in the pocket. But that's what works for me.
Mm.
Everybody get what works for them. But for me, with that system that you got in place, I just noticed that people tend to overspend using that
Well,
system.
see,
To me, to me.
I mean, you have a notification that'll send you be like, "Hey, you're approaching your
Okay, what
limit."
you got the notification? What then?
Then you just stop spending. You have an expense.
Stop.
You have an expense amount you set for
Right,
your monthly expense that you can use
mhm,
for whatever. And it's like,
right.
hey, you're approaching this limit. They'll send you it. I think the last, I want to say like $50 of it or something like that. It's like,
Okay.
hey, you're approaching your limit. You might want to chill out before you go over your limit.
Well, I need
But
to look into that. I like
there's
that. I
other
like
ones
that.
out there that are a little bit more harsh. You're like, hey, if I go over this, it'll just decline it.
Shut it down.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Well,
there's
that's something I need to look into or recommend to some people because you know when they got that card, they just keep swiping it, and that's another. You give college kids, they have no value of money. They spend, spend, spend. That's what I get.
I mean, you're
You
not wrong with
know,
that. I will 100% agree. There's no because it's not taught to us. So what do we? How are we gonna have? I mean, outside of getting that job at 16, 17 years old where you got
Mhm.
to buy your own stuff, we don't know
Yeah.
about credit. We don't know about credit. It's like
Well, I
interest.
can take this without putting no money down. I can walk away.
Like we don't know about that. I mean, that may have changed
Right,
now, but that may
right.
be changing now. But I'm going off of how it was when I was, getting my bumps
Oh,
and
same
bruises
here.
through. It's
That's
like
right.
none of that stuff was taught to us. And it's like, oh, you have
You
two
can save
thousand,
money.
you have $2,000 on credit. It's like, wait, what? When did I spend this much money?
So let me ask you a question. So you think there's an exploitation with because when you're in college you get these credit cards
Oh,
coming
100%.
in the mail.
100%. 100%. They get you and they don't offer good benefits. They're like, "Oh yeah, here's the introductory college card." It's
Mhm.
just like here's a
Yeah,
$1,000 spending limit
right,
for
right,
a card
right. I
that gets
got
you no bonuses or whatever.
you.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So and that's what the parents need to really stress the financial side of things when it comes to going off to school. Um, and I think that would be a pro for the parents and for the the young adult going off to school that they have a financial um, mindset.
Mm,
that money, that old adage, money doesn't grow on trees, and that you have to manage your money. You have to manage your money.
right.
Mm.
Right.
So because they're out to get you. The credit card company's out to get you.
Oh yeah.
You know,
As soon as you hit what was it, 18? As soon as you hit 18, hello, hello.
right? That's
We
right. That's
we
right.
heard that you're eligible for for a $1,500 spending limit.
Really? Okay. You know, but that's what you hope that they make the good decisions.
I mean, how are you gonna make a decision on something you know nothing about though?
Well, you said yes.
Hmm?
You said yes. You took it.
I mean, that could. I've been
You,
looking at it like, hey, that can give me, a decent meal instead of eating that ramen and hot dogs every night.
so that's what I'm saying. You hope you teach them. Say, well, no, I can't pay this money back, or it's going to cut into something. So I'm a decline.
And we all know good and well. We all know good and well that is more than likely not the answer coming out of somebody's fresh out of high school going to college mouth. No, they'd be like,
Oh
oh,
man,
$1,500. Oh, hold on. Hey, everybody, dinner's on me tonight. I'm gonna take all of y'all out, man. Let's go out.
I have to say, yeah, that's probably going to be the outcome. But they know that. They know that. So
Right.
that's a con that there are people out there that profited off of the lack of knowledge of young adults and put them in a financial situation when they get out of school. That's a very serious con
Right.
about that.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And you know how you can mitigate some of those cons? By
Right.
staying on campus.
Gonna be a plan. Gonna be a plan. Everything that comes
Meal
along.
plan is the way to go. When they used to, I mean, granted, they used to be expensive. Um, the meal plans, yeah, I think you pay like, I'd have to ask, but if I remember correctly, it was like $700 a semester, something like
Oh,
that, for
okay.
2 meals a day. Yeah, 2 meals a day. uh,
So you do the math. Did you? I'm pretty sure you did it. I don't know what that comes out to. Two
well, the
meals a
semester's
day,
usually what, 4 months? 4 months,
months.
about 4 months, $700 a semester, 4 meals. So that means yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
eight
We do the
meals,
math.
8 meals. Oh wait, no,
So,
excuse me. That's eight times
7 days.
32,
7 days.
32,
Right.
32 meals for $700. So that doesn't add up. The
Fine
meals were like
dining.
21,
You call
20
that
some
fine
odd.
dining? Fine dining. But
Yeah, it's not it's wild. Like I said, that it might have changed since then, but it was pretty outrageous the fact that you get a meal plan, it's still costing you an arm and a leg compared to just getting just going to like the dollar store or something and buying you some stuff to hold you for a couple of weeks.
weeks. That's right. That's true. And pooling money together. So okay, like you say, living on campus. How about living off campus but close to the university with a roommate or roommates? How's that situation?
I would say
Is
don't
that
do it until like your junior or senior year. Like
okay?
don't rush to live off campus. Granted, it's going to give you a better understanding of what you're going to need to do once you get out of school. Is just like find an apartment, pay rent, and learn how that stuff works. But
Mhm.
I wouldn't promote anyone doing that early in their college careers. I would say wait till
Mhm.
like your junior senior year, then move off campus, not far,
Right,
it,
right. Yeah.
walking distance or riding the bus or something like that. So that way you don't have to.
Worry about transportation,
Right.
another added cost uh, to these young adults that the parents have to car maintenance, all
Right.
that good stuff.
Right.
It's just a lot of little things, but um, that's the local. That's the pros and cons. Local, I guess a lot of times local and what we're talking about local. for you when we talk about living near school or living in an apartment means that's local. I mean, they got apartments and stuff for students close by, and they just walk or ride a bike or whatever means they want to get there. But the local schools, you still have to drive there
Yep.
probably, or be it's some type of transportation outside of walking or bike. So, but like I said, it's cheaper. The cost is less.
Right.
Um, the meals, you get a three meals for free. Two meals for $700, but it's why do you think why you say junior year, senior year off campus?
Because the first 2 years you're
That
not going to you still need to get a footing, feeling of where you're at and where everything is, and you don't want to rush after your freshman year, especially when you still may not know anything about
at the school, right?
the school debt and everything else.
Hmm.
So you don't want to put yourself in that situation, especially if you're rooming with some people you might not get along with.
Okay.
So that's another big thing. If you room with people you don't gonna get along with, it's gonna be a very rough year for you, and that could affect you going to school. So that's why I say use those first 2 years to find people you get along with. Make sure they're
Mm.
good, they're good people, and then
Paying the portion and all that good stuff, right?
right,
Okay.
and then you talk about maybe getting an apartment off campus or something like that. But living on campus is probably the best thing you could do because everything's in walking distance. Like for me, for example, the club was right across the street when I lived on campus. Like you just
Okay.
walk right across the street. You're at the club. It's just
No drinking and driving, huh?
yeah, I'm just right here. And then there was this little wing spot that was right. So the club. I wish I could. The club was
Yeah, yeah.
behind the wing spot, essentially.
Right.
So
Okay.
once you're done with the club, you go to the wing spot. You get something to eat, or the
It-
other way around. You get something to eat, and you go to the
right.
club. And it's right there because it's
Right.
like a little bar, like a little horseshoe, and there's like a bunch of bars and stuff right there. So everything
Okay.
was right in walking distance. You do the wings and trivia on Tuesday. You go there, do that, and then
Mhm.
Friday comes around. Hey man, you ready? We going out? Yeah, you guys may
What
pregame.
about study? What about studying?
I mean, you can study. Yeah, that's already understood. I'm just saying these are
Okay.
the
Okay.
nightlife
Okay.
pros. The
This is
nightlife.
nightlife.
I mean,
Right.
you're on campus, so that's already a pro. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just walk to
Yeah.
wherever,
That's right.
walk to whatever
That's right.
class you need to walk to. So, but if everything is close to you, as far as
Mhm.
like dining and extracurriculars, then that's a great pro for living on campus. Now, if everything's away from you, then you might be dreading, try to do the extracurriculars and everything like that. So it just depends on the setup of the campus. But I was fortunate enough to have the main hub like right across the street from where I stayed at. So I
Okay. Okay. Now, I mean, you bring up a point. So, in college, is there a lot of distractions that can get you off focus on your main objective is to
Yes,
get
I
an
mean
education?
there's always going to be distractions. There's distractions no matter what you do in life. There's always going to be distractions, and
But
those
how college? I mean, living that college life.
in college life. What do you mean? Like I'm just trying to. There's
Okay.
always going to be distractions.
Okay.
The main
I
one.
was on campus before,
Mhm.
and we had some distractions, but we had a regimen of study in getting things done that we need to get done at that time, and then have fun once in a while, here and there. But you know how the distractions are when because
I,
I mean it's more now than back then.
yeah, you didn't have the dust balls to look at to keep you entertained and everything like that. Um, yeah, there's a lot more distractions. I mean, of course, I think the one main thing that everybody talks about when they're going to school is smoking, like smoking weed. I think that's probably
Oh,
like the one thing. Look, you guys.
nah,
That,
that wasn't even something we thought about.
no, but I'm saying it when
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
that probably wasn't around in your era, but I'm saying in my era that was like the main thing because
right.
all the movies about smoking and stuff were starting to be trendy and popular. So everybody's like,
Okay,
"Oh,
okay,
I want to try it and see what it's."
right, right,
That's
right,
part of the college
right.
experience. You, as a parent, you should know that your kid's probably going to try and smoke weed. Like
Okay,
it,
because I see a high number of people out here smoking weed now,
right?
and I was just,
And that's probably
wondering.
from people in my era that they were like,
That,
oh, the reason, and I believe, and I will always state this, the reason why I think it's like that is because it was so frowned upon back then. Like everybody's like, oh, don't
right,
do it. Weed will do X, Y, and Z to you, and all all those commercials that you used to see.
right, right, right,
So
right.
that's what made it more popular. Is when you started.
Here's your mind, and here's your mind on weed. No, right, right, right.
Exactly. So all those bad things made it more popular for people. They're like, oh, I got to try it now. And so when you try it, you may like it, and you're just like, okay, well, this is so bad, and then you just
Man, it's
that was really the main thing. I mean, I had roommates that tried. No, he tried ecstasy once. And I was like, I didn't think anything about it because I was like, it's a college experience. I'm throwing all that into that college experience thing.
right,
Like you're
right,
gonna try stuff that you experiment and see what you.
right.
As long as you're not going overboard about it, I
Mhm,
didn't think anything about
mhm.
it. I was like, oh, cool, you're trying that. Let me know how it is. And he was like,
Yeah. Did y'all watch him and see what
no, I
happened?
didn't. No,
Uh,
he really didn't do anything to be honest with you. After he
okay,
tried it,
okay,
he was just really chill. He was just chilling.
okay.
Um, he went he went out with some of his coworkers and he was like, yeah, it was just like I said, I know it affects people differently, but he was like, yeah, it just made everything brighter for me. Like everything was brighter. I was like, okay, cool. you know,
That is not cool. To
as
everybody out there, that is not cool. Do
as a young
not try none of that stuff.
as a young adult, you don't think about stuff like that. You're just like, okay, college experience, just chalk it up to that and just keep it moving. Um, so it was just there's going to be those things. You're going to drink at a because they're not going to have the supervision. Kids are going to drink at an underage. They're going to drink underage. They're going to do drugs. They're going to they're going to be promiscuous. They're going to do the things that they probably didn't get a chance to do when they were living under your house. So as a parent, I would just say try to be understanding of it, but also try to make sure that they don't go down that path any further as far as it being detrimental to them because
Right.
that's going to be part of that experience because you telling them no, it's like you're not here. You're not
Yeah.
here. You told me
So
no,
so
but you're not here.
so those distractions. If you now, since you know this, and I kind of know it as well. What things would you look for if you see these distractions get to a point where it's detrimental in a cop? What will notice? Grades, obviously.
Grades is more the thing that be hit the quickest because you're not going to class. You're going to get those emails from the teacher, be like, "Hey, I haven't seen you." The teachers that care, let me say that the teachers that
That's right.
care will send you
That's
the send you the
right.
email.
Larger in school, you're just a number. They ain't gonna say number 12 didn't show up to class today.
Exactly.
Who's number 12? But yeah, I get
The teachers that care will send you emails. The other ones will be like, okay, whatever. I mean, you're failing, so take it up with the board or whatever you got to do. But yeah, the ones that care will actually reach out and send you stuff like, hey, I haven't seen you in class a couple days. What's going on? Blah blah blah. They'll take an interest in your well being. Uh, and of
What's
course,
another?
if you have your friends there, they should be able. Unless they're doing the same thing you're doing, then it's just kind of like
That's probably what's gonna happen. But so what's another thing that to look out for? Is money,
money.
increase in
I would say money is
need.
it's a good one. Needs, yeah. I mean, all that stuff you're going to like. You're going to need to eat, and so when you want to eat, if you're tired of eating ramen and hot dogs every night, you're going to want to eat. There's no, you can't eat without money. Then you're like, well, let me get that $1,500 credit card. Go get myself something to eat. So,
But like it's like is this something to look out like a flag that increase in financial support from the parents to the kid, to
it
the young adult that
it
is
de-
needed?
it depends. It depends
Mhm.
because that could just be the school itself. Because I know some schools raise their prices year after year, so there might not be indicator. There might not be indicator to the parents that, that their child is something's going on with them because the tuition's increasing. Another $1,000, $2,000 for the next year.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Okay. So uh, I'm just trying to give the audience some flags to look for and things, and with that, these distractions, if they're out of control,
mm,
they can see certain things that pop up that can be a flag
right.
to that they might want to address.
And it's not really a thing that is can be applied to everyone because everybody is
That's right.
different. So
That's
you'd
right.
have to really understand
Your
your
child.
child.
That's
You
right.
have to
That's right.
understand your
That's
child
right. That's right.
because
You
what
know.
I'm saying may
Uh,
not apply at all to your child. Be like, yeah, my child's a straight
yeah.
student, straight and narrow.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She used to wear, this big, dress. Now she got booty shorts on. Like what happened?
Right.
Something happened from that time when she left until she came back. So, but no, it just sometimes those distractions could be detrimental. Now, what are there some serious issues there that these distractions could get you in situations
Yes,
where
100%, 100%, and that goes back to like it it really I would say it applies to everybody, but more so to athletes, and that is the promiscuity. The promiscuity is probably the biggest thing because normally, well, now because people are getting paid for to be
for
an
the
athlete in school, but
late,
back
right?
then you weren't getting
Right.
paid to have your likeness used in a video game and everything like that. So
So,
the money wasn't as much as it is now. But the money would always be because there's plenty of times when I've had some of my friends. There's like, man, they don't have any money to get themselves something to eat. Like they're starving. They have to wait until that stipend kicks in the next month. So they may have like a couple of days left on the month. They got to sit there without anything to eat. Like,
wow, wow,
it was
that's
rough. It's rough out there.
yeah, because my process was a little different. You work and go to school.
Mm,
You work and it's a little slower process, and I would rather just give the 4 years. I would tell anybody just do the four
right.
or how many years and be done with it. That the work and go to school is it's a process. It takes a while. It's demanding because the reason why you're working is because you got obligations, bills.
Right.
I suggest any student, you know, that they don't create these bills because they could create them because somebody else is going to have to pay for them. But but like you said, you get that $1,500 credit card, swipe. Hey, you even make the call, right? You said you make a call, say, "Hey, it's on. We're gonna meet up tonight. Wings tonight on me."
Right.
So it,
Because
but no,
you're not thinking about the long term. You're like, oh, I got access to this money now. Let me get something to eat. Let me stock up on some food. Hey,
that's
homies, we going out. It's on me tonight. We're like, oh, he going out, boy. We going out tonight. And nobody has the inkling of how much. They just put it on the tab. Put it on his tab. We always drinking tonight. And it's like, okay.
now on average, you think a college, new, somebody going to school, going off school, on average, how many different credit card companies going to be coming to them? On just basic, because
Are we are we talking about a per year basis or per semester?
oh man, is it that
Yeah,
serious?
I told you once you hit
You can
18,
walk
once you hit 18, it's like they're sitting there, they waiting, they chomping at the bit, they trying to get that signing so that way they can get their
right,
money. I understand they got to make their money on their end for the people calling you
that's
trying to get you to sign up, but yeah,
right.
they,
So let's say you know for a year,
for a year,
freshman year,
freshman
freshman
year,
year,
straight into college. I would say probably about 10 to 12.
man,
10 to 12, you have your banks calling you like, hey, especially your bank calling you, hey, we
right,
got this credit card offer, we know you were in school, you talked about it, you were in school last time you came in and made your
right.
deposit, so you want to sign up with this credit card with us, it'll help you with your credit.
Got $10. Man, that's man. You see how that it's just and man, that's scary. That's scary to me because it's just you got millions of students out there getting this,
Mm-hmm.
and they're using it. Like you
Yeah,
said,
because
they're gonna use
they can't afford they can't afford
it.
they can't afford the meal plan. They're not trying.
So a parent who paid $700 for a meal plan
Mm,
for their child, that same kid would probably accept all 10 of those cards for that year.
probably.
Wow.
I mean,
Okay.
look at it this way: 2 meals a day, and depending on your body type and your structure and what you're doing,
Mhm.
that's not going to be enough. And like, you got to live off of 2 meals a day. If I'm burning 2,000 plus calories a day, you think two little meals? Actually, it wasn't even meals. They tell you you have X amount of money to spend at a store. So you
Right.
go into this little store with
And
overpriced
get a little
food.
snack.
Yeah,
Oh,
a
oh
little store
yes,
with
yeah.
overpriced food. They're like, you have this much to spend for your day. What?
I can see you looking like, what? Is this it? But no, no. So so parents beware, it's they're out there. Those I guess those vultures are out there circling, just waiting. And to prevent that, we're gonna still have to carry them through this process, or
And don't even get me
they're gonna
started on
suffer the
books.
consequences. Oh, the books are ridiculous. Yeah,
$150
yeah.
for this paperback. This little tiny little book. Nah, you can
And
keep
then
that.
try to sell it back, and
And
try to
try to
sell
sell
it
it
back and
back
get
and
a
get ten
dollar.
dollars.
That's
Wait,
right.
what?
So it's you almost have to wonder, what is this about? This is strictly business
Yeah,
with
the college trying to
with
make money.
so that's right. And it's just almost by any means. Everybody's trying to make money off of, the banks, and everything else. So um just things to be aware, and before you put them out there, let them know what's going on. So um, yeah, that's
And I guess we can touch on the last thing real quick before we get out of here.
right.
Um, as far as majors, no, you shouldn't know. You can have an idea, but that major may not be there in a year because there's been some majors that got changed from some people that I knew. They're like, yeah, I'm going to what was it? I think it was like social science or something like that. Or I forgot what the major was called, and then they got rid of it. so,
Yeah, yeah.
so those don't go in there with like, I'm going to do this major. No, they may change it, may get rid of it. So just You have a broad idea, but once you get there, try out the classes that you want to do, and then decide from there. It's like, hey, if you like this class, then what majors does that class tie into, and then go from there.
Go for that. Oh yeah, so leave your options open to
Yeah.
see. Yeah, yeah, that would be, especially if you got that tunnel vision, you focus on that particular major, and then they pull the rug from under you, and yeah, that would be tough. That would be, because you think about it, it might be other reasons why you're going to school. It might be this is the best in that major, locally or abroad, as far as you know, and that credibility when they pull it, it's done. What are you going to do? So yeah, that's. I'm glad you brought that up because that does happen. That they carry it one time and then after that they say,
Yep.
"Nah,
You
we're
halfway
going."
through, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't honor this major anymore." Wait, what? I spent 2 years at this
That's
school
right.
for okay.
Well, and for me, I have an issue with, and I'm not trying to knock anybody's major or whatever. Majors that
You mean the ones for athletes? You mean the
you
ones
could
for
have gone to
athletes?
the
Go ahead and say it.
local,
The ones for
right?
athletes.
No, you could have went to a
The
local college
ones for
for
athletes.
that.
Yeah, the political sciences. Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. The ones that the athletes usually take. Yeah, I got you.
Right. You got to go to this school
Mm,
that costs this much for something you could have done locally. You know, I just it doesn't make sense. If you got let's say you want to be a designer, fashion, or fashion design or whatever. You have to show me that this is where you were going when you're in school. You got to show me that this was your interest way before it's time to go and say, well, oh, okay, I want to do fashion now. But the school is over here.
right.
And I'm like, no, you go locally until you look at the fashion world and then you can go there on your own. But I'm not going to send you to some fashion school somewhere that costs all this money just because you just got a whim of a feeling that that's something you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to go someplace else and then go on there on your own. So that's what these majors. I feel when somebody's talking about a major or when they want to major in something, they should show their parents that they're interested in in that field before they turn 18.
Yeah, but at the same
That's
time,
some majors.
a young mind is always going to change because you can show that they're
Oh, I
interested.
don't mind the change in college,
Mm,
but but when you talk about a specialized major or something like that, you need to show interest in that before you put your resources in something that they think they want to do.
mm.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you. I understand. But you really meant to say, the easy majors for the athletes. I understand what you meant,
No,
man. I understand what you yeah, what you major in political science? Oh, okay. Athlete.
it's just that you want to go to this costly school for something that you could have got anywhere, and it would have the same amount of weight.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just that you're gonna have to do some convincing, and you will have to pay for it yourself. You know, I'll pay up to that local amount.
Mm.
I'll help you with the local portion of it. If you were here, this is as far as out of pocket I would have to go. This is as far as I'm gonna go. If you go out there on you, it's on you.
Right. And I think that's just a very niche instance for like the design schools because most of the colleges is just you just go. And then it's just like
No,
you figure it
right,
out when you
right.
go there. But maybe like design school, medical school,
That's right.
um,
That's right.
I guess
Uh,
technician school for like automotive and stuff, but I don't think you really want to. I don't think you're really going to show anything like being a 16-year-old
no,
working on the
no.
car.
Well, you show interest in it.
Yeah, I mean you can show, but you
You
said
show
you
interest.
want to, you want them to,
I
you want them to be under the
I don't
hood.
want them to
Hey dad,
refill the engine.
hey
I don't
dad,
want to refill.
I changed your oil out. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go to tech school in 2 years. I changed your oil.
You got to show some interest in it. You sitting around doing. Look, it's kind of like you want to be a track star, but you never ran. I never see you jog or go
Mm,
outside and play, but it looks good on the video game. I mean, or you watch the Olympics. Oh, now I want to be, a 4x4 runner. Come on. Like
I mean,
go outside and run first, and let me see you. If you like it.
right.
You know. So it just is college cost. That's a major cost, and it's a major stepping stone for young people. Um, my take is go go make those decisions and make good ones. We hope you make good ones. It sounds like you got a group of people out here hoping they make bad decisions, just like with the credit cards.
Hmm.
It's this person not working. This person's here for education. Money is tight, and you just supplying them resources that they have to pay back, and not just only pay back dollar for dollar, but with interest.
Right.
Totally wrong. And then you got the schools sucking them dry. It's so it's cons out there, but I still think it's a good experience to go do.
100%.
Go out. Yeah, yeah,
It'll really define your character when you
that's right.
go out to do outside of that, but you also have those experiences. I think your character, at least for me, your character is defined all
Mhm.
the way up until like 25 to 27 ish. Then at that
Right.
point, you should know who you are.
That's right.
As far as
Right.
a
That's
person,
right.
you may not know what you want to do, but you should know
Too.
who you are as a person.
I hope you do because by that time you should be graduating.
Right,
But
right. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, all right, everybody. Well, that's going to be it for us. I hope you all enjoyed, and we
yes,
will see you in the next one. Be sure to keep up those comments. We really appreciate it. Even some of the
yes, we
ones
do.
that that get a laugh.
Right. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We take them all, but no,
Yes,
we appreciate everything. So, yes, look forward. See you next week,
all
and
right, and
teach
we're
this
at
young man some stuff. All right, bye.
later.